Hello, boys and girls. Got another video for you fine folks on the internet here today. Another installment in the Matthew Buckley Talks music series. Looking at another album by special synesthetic singer-songwriter Linda Perhacs. Today, her sophomore album released in 2014, The Soul of All Natural Things, issued on Asthmatic Kitty Records in 2014 on CD, vinyl, and a limited edition white vinyl. A little background, I spoke already in my previous installment of the Matthew Buckley Talks music about Linda Perhacs, so if you're not familiar with her, you should check that out. But a little further background on this particular album. After releasing her debut solo album, Parallelograms, in 1970, to relatively muted reception, Linda Perhacs retreated from the music industry, maintaining a day-to-day life in dentistry. After overseeing the remixing and reissuing of her album in 2003, she began accepting invitations from contemporary musicians such as Devendra Banhart and Daft Punk to collaborate in various projects of theirs, and gave her first stage performance of her own career in 2010. 2 years later, she signed to Sufjan Stevens' Asthmatic Kitty Records, recording new material over the course of the summer of 2013. Enlisting the services of indie musicians like Julia Holter and Chris Price, 44 years after her debut, Perhacs released her second album, The Soul of All Natural Things. Now, side A opens with a bed of quietly building synthesizer sounds below acoustic guitar picking. Perhacs' vocal is heavy with effects. Like a mantra, she chants, "Peace be still." The tempo briefly picks up in the latter half of the song, featuring flourishes of flamenco-styled guitar and lots of lively percussion. Things slow back down again before the soft coda of finger-picked acoustic guitar. The next track, Children, is a pleasant rumination on the innocent wisdom of youth. Normally not exactly a theme that particularly captures me personally, but this isn't at all overdone. It's appropriately constructed. Doesn't seem too contrived as a lot of songs about children do, in my opinion. It also drifts through a delightful, spacey interlude in the middle of the song. I like that section a lot. The next track, River of God, is a relatively more up-tempo song, and one of the album's longer cuts, almost 6 minutes, I think. It starts with vocal stacks before drums begin to thump away. And there's lots of vocal harmonies throughout, intricate arrangements, both vocally and instrumentally. The next track, Daybreak, is a pleasant song. It almost sounds like it would be at home on adult contemporary radio. It's basically, a song about being amazed at small, fleeting moments of peace and beauty. Which I can certainly get behind. The following track, Intensity, is by contrast the busiest song on the album. One of the two songs on the album for which a drawing of the music by Linda Perhacs, is included in the album booklet. Lots of percussion and synthesizer effects make this an outlier of sorts on the album, for sure. It's still a very ethereal, psychedelic soundscape, but far too lively to be laid back. Vocals repeat on as the layers of the song begin to fall away and end side A. take a sip of tea here for the working man. Ooh. A little bit of Meyer lemon for anyone keeping score at home. Still pretty warm though. Anyway, side B begins with Freely, a gentle acoustic song adorned with sprinkles of piano. Perhacs just sings of wishing to be free with the listener. Really, in my opinion, honestly, this track wouldn't have sounded too out of place on her original Parallelograms album. It's similarly in that vein, that style. Basic and bare instrumentation, sweet harmonies. This is a low-key highlight on the album for me, all things considered. And on that note, the following track, Prisms of Glass, is another highlight. It may actually be my favorite on the album. It begins fairly subdued, simply keyboards and vocals. It's a bit of neo-psych folk that, after the second verse, sort of trails into an otherworldly soundscape of drifting and swirling voices and sound effects. It really sets a magical mood. It's fantastic stuff. The few times I've been listening to this album to prepare for this review, every time I got to that section of Prisms of Glass, I just find myself getting carried away. The next track, Immunity, is another rather fast-paced song, very busy as instrumentation, and it seems to be, lyrically speaking, a song directed towards God or the source or whatever you want to call it. Linda sings, "Thank you for the love that flows when we listen for your love." It's not just a love song like "I love you," it's a love song like "I feel your love." It's good stuff though, I like it. And the next track, When Things Are True Again, is definitely another highlight of the album for me. It's mostly Linda's voice and guitar, another relatively bare and basic cut that would have really fit, would have fit on Parallelograms. It's a unique take, I'd say, on social commentary, as she sings, "I will be with you when things are true again." It's just lovely. And the next track, Song of the Planets, is something of a small epic, beginning with slowly building synthesizers, setting a bass. Linda's dreamy voice carries along above sprinkles of keyboard, which drift into a psychedelic swirl of tape loops and spoken word edits. It's really quite a surreal trip. And after the spoken word sequence, there are high synth notes and vocals sustained to a fade, ending side B and the album. So, final thoughts, this is an understated treasure. This album is a fantastic follow-up to her first album, well worth the 44-year wait. The incorporation of synthesizers and digital percussion especially leaves the album feeling somewhat less of the earth than its predecessor, but it maintains every bit of whimsy and immerses itself in a psychedelic air. Songs touch on intangible themes and make social commentary from a uniquely cosmic perspective. So a little bit of a closer look here at the cover. Nice portrait of Linda against a backdrop of presumably a lake. Nice typeset on the title and her name there. Back cover has a line drawing of some landscape, track list, some credits, nothing too fancy, just instrumental credits there. Sliding this sucker out. Also, here's the hype sticker, straight from Asthmatic Kitty Records. And the booklet has more of the line drawing that is featured on the back cover. Guess I could hold it out like a reverse gatefold there. Nice little landscape. And on the inside, much like with the drawing included of the music for Parallelograms, the title track in that album, here is a big fold-out drawing of the music for A Song of the Planets. Got the synthesizer and Linda's voice represented by those squiggly lines. There's some strings represented by the red and orange lines because they bring warmth. There's the big jumble of the tape loops, more keyboard flourishes, and a lot of her, notes, specifying notes are very interesting. Synth keyboard chords to add harmonic backup to vocals, lead vocals, Gregorian, dreamy, simple, tight, close harmonies. Strings to add richness and warmth. She knows what she's doing. And even though it's only in black and white, they also include the drawing by Linda of the music for Intensity, which, as you can see, starts relatively simple and just builds and builds and explodes. She makes a great note at the bottom. Percussion is needed throughout, but especially where the asterisks are placed. Notice, needed, double underlined, and triple exclamation point. Again, she knows what she's doing. Very staccato to match percussion and whisper voice. I like it. And the next page has lyrics for the other songs that do not get the liberty of having special drawings included for them. And that's that as far as the booklet. There's also a lovely download card included. And the record itself, which I have in a plastic inner sleeve. A-side label. B-side label. Nothing too fancy. So, yeah, I'd definitely say, again, this is a great album. I wish I wouldn't have taken so long to listen to it. I've known about it since, probably at least a couple years after it came out, but I only finally picked it up this past year. Granted, I had listened to it at least once before, but it's definitely it's satisfying. It's a great listen. I had a few reservations, but I am thoroughly pleased. It exceeded my expectations, I would say. And Linda's songwriting has honestly evolved in more ways than I could have ever expected. I also have here, for anyone who cares, the CD issue of The Soul of All Natural Things. So I got both LP and CD. All things considered, as far as rating this album, I would not hesitate to rate it easily an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect by any measure. It is just missing a little something that could take it up a couple more notches, but it is damn great. It's a start to finish wonderful listen, and yeah, I really can't say enough good about it. Especially, the Prisms of Glass song is just take it to another dimension for 5 or so minutes. But let me know in the comments below. Have you heard The Soul of All Natural Things? Are you familiar with Linda Perhacs or any of her other albums? I reviewed her first album already. I just did this one, and I'm going to give you a little hint about what's coming up next. It's her third one. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Let's get a discussion flowing. I appreciate any and all viewership. Yeah, tune in next time because we'll have the third installment in our Linda Perhacs trilogy. Thank you again. This has been Matthew Buckley Talks Music with The Soul of All Natural Things by Linda Perhacs. Music is the best.